Good day, everybody. And today is Thursday, the 19th. And what I want to talk about today is this is for families for veterans. I did a post the other day, and I said I'd be back the day after, but I've been trying to collate some, big word for me, that, trying to collate some information for some of the vacancies I mentioned. And these vacancies are really for veterans out there who are looking for work, class two, and especially veterans who, want to get away from it all. There's free accommodation applied with these jobs, which is pretty good. And it's not the best accommodation, but it's better than a main road or a street somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So I've got me RCT cat badge on, and it's a bit worse for wear, but I got this at a reunion. So anyway, the jobs that I want to talk about are recovery jobs, bizarrely enough, but recovery on a motorway and not recovery as in needing help. So I did this job myself, and if I can do it, anybody can do it because it was certainly out of my comfort zone. But you're working on the motorway, and what happens is a lot of it's on smart motorways. So, I was working on motorways, Caesar Meter, and the people the majority of the guys who work on this job are ex-squaddies, veterans. I'd say 70% of them are. So you're certainly going to get the banter back. The banter's there. It's good fun. It's around about £1,000 a week, and you're working 24/7. So basically, you're living in a caravan, obviously free of charge, no electric, no gas. All you pay for is your food, and once a week you go to a supermarket, and you're allowed to go off site and go to a supermarket, get all your provisions in. And if there's no washing machine in the caravan, then you're allowed to go, obviously, and do your washing. There's no regime sort of thing. So um, there's two companies that are operating this. The main one is BDV Recovery, the one I work for, and there's two of you that live in a caravan together. The other one, K2, is you get your own pod. But I'll go into more of that in a minute. But BDV Recovery are based in Flitwick in Scunthorpe, and they operate around the northwest, northeast, and as far as Newport Pagnell I was working at on the M1. And basically what you do is somebody breaks down, you just go and rescue them as a two-man team. One of you goes in the flatbed to pick the car up and just take it to the services. That's all you do. You pick the car up, secure it, and take it to the services, and then the customer is required to do their own recovery from there. So you're only taking them to the service, so it could be a mile you take them, and that's it. And as it says, a two-man team because there's a vehicle behind you, the IPV, which is the protection vehicle. Do you know the big yellow vehicles with the flashing lights that you see on a motorway sometimes saying "move over," and nobody does because they don't see. They can see a car broken down on the motorway and they move out of the way, but they can't see a big wagon with flashing lights saying "move over." Honestly, it's bizarre. But that's another story. But yeah, so you could be driving that. Training is provided, obviously. It's £1,000 a week. It's 24/7, so you're on site for 24/7. You might get one job a day. You might get one job every 2 days, but then some days you might get 10 jobs. So it varies. And one thing you will find on the motor, how many people don't have recovery? They don't have VIA or RAC or any of them. It's bizarre. You think You get it with your insurance, surely to God. But no, they don't have it anyway. So that's up to them to sort that out. A lot of people who run out of fuel on the motorway. It's criminality, really, I think. But anyway, that's another story. So this is BD Recovery. I have an email address. So if you've got a pen and paper, I've got an email address for you to write down. And if you email these, if you email this address, it'll give you details on vacancies. Now, a BDV Recovery do train you up. You need 3 certificates. And they will train you beforehand, the 3 certificates. They all cost money, but they take it out your wage on a daily basis. So you get paid. It might have gone up now. It's 3 years ago since I did it. And I only left because I was with my tumour. And so it's, I was able to clear all my debts and everything. It was brilliant. So it's 24/7. You're on site 4 to 5 weeks. Now you can do 4 weeks and have a week off, but you don't get paid for that week. You can have a week off, and I just went to Benidorm because I was at Newport Pagnell. I just got the train to Luton, Stansted, and we just went to Benidorm for a week, and then came back. And then somebody picked us up at the airport, or vice versa, dropped us off at the airport. One of the lads. So at the train station. So it is flexible to do what you want really in your week off. You can have 2 weeks off, but you need to be doing 6 weeks to get the 2 weeks off. After 4 or 5 weeks or 6 weeks, you do need a week off, to be fair. So you go home, see family, whatever, or like do what I did and just go on holiday. Now this is, if you've got your pen and paper, this is BDV Recovery, and the email address is control@bdvlimited.com, and just tell them you're inquiring for a Class 2 or Class 1 driver. Class 1 is a bit more difficult. Class 1 is those, I don't know if you've seen those recovery programs, them big chunky vehicles that pull buses and trucks and stuff out of areas that they've gone into through falling asleep and stuff, or if they turn them back up onto the wheels. That's the Class 1 one, and I've not got that, but that's hard work. But you do get a lot less jobs. You might only get 1 job a week on that, so it is good money for that. It's £1 a week for doing nothing, basically. So Class 1 or Class 2 HGV. The Class 2 is fairly easy because it's a 7.5 ton flatbed, basically. And as I said, they give you the training. You get your 3 certificates. One of them's £150. The other one's, I think it's 200, and one's 300. So what they do in your first month, they take £10 a day out for each certificate. So at the end of your first month, you might be short about a couple of £100. But after 2 weeks, one of them's paid off. After 3 weeks, the other one's paid on. After a month, they're all paid off, and the money's yours. And that includes your first aid certificate and everything. So, and then you're free range to go anywhere you want, because you're self-employed on these jobs. So you pay your own tax. So the first year, you don't have to worry too much about your tax. So basically, less weeks off, you could earn 40 grand a year in your pocket, So what I would recommend is what I did. A lot of lads get bored, so they start to do some online gambling, and then you end up working for nothing. So basically, if you are a gambler, block your internet so you can't use your phone or your laptop or your tablet when you're on rest downs. So please block. I would recommend you block anything, because all that money is yours, and if you can't use your internet, you can't spend it. So at the end of every month, you've basically got £4 in your bank. So you can soon accumulate. There were 3 of us from the same unit working there, and we were in an independent squadron from 5-4 squadron. It was all there. 3 of us were there a couple of years ago. There's a picture of us on Newport Pagnell Station when we had a meeting, and it was good to meet up with the guys. So we had a good laugh. And like I say, you get your banter back. So this is ideal for guys who are single, or guys who are struggling to make ends meet regards accommodation. So if you know anybody who's on the street or whatever, and they've got an HGV, these guys will put you through it, I'm telling you. And you don't have to worry about paying for accommodation. All you pay for is food, but, you know, if you need any cash in the meantime, I can help you out there to give you some money for food and stuff for your first 2 weeks, you know. So that's BDV Recovery. There's another, they're based in the northwest. There's another, no, sorry, well, the east, it's Scunthorpe, isn't it? So it's Yorkshire, East Anglia type place. But they cover a huge, and they're on the M62 at the minute, and they've still got a job on the M1, but they've moved up a bit to junction 15A, I think, which is not a bit. The amount of accidents on junction when we was at junction 13 was absolutely incredible. Seriously. Now, the other company is K2 Recovery. They're based Kettering and south. They're fairly south. You guys who are living down in the south, and they're both looking for drivers, HGV Class 2 drivers. So if you just need your card sorting, I'm not sure if these will do the training, but you just need to contact them and ask them. So it may be that you want to start with BDV Recovery first, get your cards, and then move on if you don't like it. You know what I mean? So, and this one is, the email address for K2 is ebony.foster. That's EBONY.foster at k2recovery.co.uk. That's ebony.foster at k2recovery.co.uk. So that's 2 jobs with free accommodation. And K2 Recovery, you do get your own pod, so you're on your own. But there is a team together. There's always a team. You're never on your own, obviously, for obvious reasons. And with K2 Recovery, if you've got partners, girlfriends, or whatever, you can invite them on BDV. You can't really invite family or friends onto the site, because sometimes you're at the side of a motorway, a bit away from the motorway, so you can't hear the noise. But sometimes you may be on one of the sites, the big boys, and they were doing the road repairs. There's also, if you've got your PSV, not many squaddies have the PSV license, or rather PCV license. I'm going back a few years there, aren't I? PCV license, there's jobs with a company called Integrated Solutions. If you email, no, you don't need to email them, you can ring them. Just Google, I think they're on CV Library, Integrated Solutions. They're offering a few bus driving contracts with free accommodation or a subsidy of £150 a week. So that's £600 a week before you get your salary for accommodation. So if you could get, I looked on a couple of websites for accommodation, like Bedsits, and they're about £88 a week. So you've got nearly £100 a week, £90 a week, for food, really, for anything. That's before you touch your wage. So you could actually not touch your wage quite some time. They're paying up to £1,000 as well. They're around about £20 an hour on the buses, and some of the contracts are quite good, especially the one in Somerset. That's like a shuttle job. You're just taking employees, shuttling employees to the power station and back. That offers free accommodation. There's a free gym on site. There's a sports bar, and that looks quite good. I'm not sure what the accommodation's like, but it will be some sort of flat or something like that, I think. But I've not been down there. I have applied for that one myself, actually, but I can't go until April. So yeah, I intend to do 6 months there and then travel the world for 6 months, because you don't know how long you get when you get to my age, you see. So yeah, there's a few jobs. Integrated Solutions are for PCV drivers that offer free accommodation or subsidised as well. They're offering free accommodation if you're in the Bristol area. In Bristol at Hengrove, that's free accommodation. And if the free accommodation's full up, then they are giving you a subsidy. So you just need to look on a couple of websites for accommodation, basically. So that's the job side of things that I was going to talk about. This is for families, for veterans, or veterans for families, rather, sorry. On VetNet, once you get on there. So I don't know if Gary's probably post these jobs on or post this video on, so you can watch it a few times to get the emails address that you might need. So I'm not going to carry on any longer, because obviously I'm almost done 17 minutes, and Gary told me off for doing too long, for being boring. So, but that's my trait. So it's AK, and thank you for listening. I hope I helped somebody out with a vacancy there. So contact these people and see what training they offer, because £1,000 a week isn't nothing to be sniffing at with free accommodation, let me tell you. And if I can do it, then, and it's out of my comfort zones, then you can. So you're just recovering these people from motorways, or you're driving people on a bus. So yeah, they're easy enough jobs, paid well. So on that note, I'm going to leave you. Have a lovely day, everybody, and keep talking, keep chatting, keep helping each other. All right. Love all the vets. Have a good day. AK. Von AK. Tschüss.